What's the first thing you recognize about a person? Is it their hair, ears, nose, teeth, or is it their eyes? If you think hard enough, the feature you are likely to notice first is the one that is most obvious. Unusually colored eyes, for example, are certain to make you take a second glance in someone's direction. From the Iraqi girl with red eyes to those with mixed colored eyes, here are 15 rarest eye colors people actually have. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos every day. That being said, let's begin. Number 15. Red Eye. After a big night out clubbing, many of us have woken up the next morning looking less than chipper. Bloodshot eyes are masked by dark sunglasses and hangover remedies are reached for. She features in a video that went viral on social media, racking up thousands of views, comments, shares, and reactions all over the world. And not because she's a descendant of the devil or Count Dracula, this little girl suffers from the rare genetic condition albinism. Born with a lack of skin pigment in their bodies, albinos are so white they're almost see-through, and their hair is white as snow. It's considered very rare to see a person with such an extraordinary eye color, hence the over-the-top reaction on social media. The reason behind the uncommon eye color, however, is very simple. Just as vampires can't cope with sunlight, neither can albinos. Their eyes are extremely sensitive to light, as their iris doesn't have the amount of color needed to protect and shield it from the sun. This little tot, although adorable and certainly not camera shy, is likely blind, or at best has very poor eyesight. On the bright side, taking her trick-or-treating on Halloween would be fun. Just imagine the reactions. Number 14. Hazel Eyes. There's a little known fact about hazel eyes that might excite those that have them. They are one of the rarer eye colors, with just 5% of the population having them. Although many will be guilty of describing their eye color as hazel for official documents such as their passports, the fact is, they are more than likely not hazel. It's a simple mistake though, as hazel eyes are a little difficult to determine and labeling them as such isn't always an exact science. If you think your eyes are hazel, now might be the time to check the facts and confirm your theory. So what exactly are they? Hazel eyes are a combination of green, gold, and brown coloring. The amount of each color can vary among different people with hazel eyes, with many describing them as hazel green or hazel blue eyes depending on the dominance of green or brown. The amount of each color can vary among different people with hazel eyes, with many describing them as hazel green or hazel brown eyes depending on the dominance of green or brown. This variance in color can cause some confusion, but if the mix of green and brown in the iris is there, then the eyes are hazel. If you don't have hazel eyes but would have liked them, you can blame your good old ma and pa, because you guessed it, your eye color is determined by your genetics, the DNA you get from your parents. Number 13. Blue eyes. Considered the second most common eye color, blue eyes are the feature of between 8 and 10% of people worldwide. They are, however, extremely rare for African Americans. So when twin girls, Megan and Morgan, were born to an African American couple in 2013, social media literally blew up. What's more, Morgan had one blue eye and one dark brown eye, a very rare phenomena found only in a handful of cases across the globe. For their parents, their eyes came as no surprise, as their grandfather had blue eyes and their great aunt had a mix of both. Born in North Philadelphia, the girls might be no relation to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but they've quickly captured the interest of fashionistas, hitting the runway for the first time at just 4 years of age. It's hardly surprising the tiny twins are proving popular, with their striking appearance setting them apart from others their age. Known as the True Blue Twins, the pair have 37,000 followers on Instagram and much more on Facebook. Fancy being Insta-famous at 4. The pair have also been noticed by celebrities like Yandy Smith, the love and hip-hop reality star, Ray Ray, the band member of Mindless Behavior, and Wendy Williams, who I hope to God will just keep their names out of her mouth. They also receive branded clothing to wear and promote for popular merchandisers. Sounds like a dream come true to me. Number 12. Amber Eyes. Simply stunning to look at and exceptionally rare, and we're not talking about diamonds here. Based on scientific studies, amber eyes are thought to be a feature of just 0.1% of the human population, so if you have them, you're more unique than you realize. Sometimes described as golden, amber eyes are common in wolves, dogs, domestic cats, owls, eagles, pigeons, and even fish, but not quite so in humans. For example, if we assume that there are 7 billion people on the planet, just 700,000 of those, the population of Bahrain, have amber-colored eyes. If you have amber eyes, you are in good company, as a handful of celebrities such as Nicole Richie and Justin Bieber have them. Defining amber eyes isn't easy, however, as some can be light or dark and contain a yellow copper tint, while others have hues of green, hazel, and brown, making confirmation of color difficult. Regularly compared to cat's eyes or those of reptilian creatures, amber eyes are created from reflective light from the iris, casting off a near translucent golden color. If you have amber eyes, count yourself among the lucky few. They are a gift that have been passed on to you through a series of complicated mutations millions of years in the making. Number 11. Green eyes. People with green eyes have a lot to be thankful for. In fact, according to an online survey conducted by allaboutvision.com, of which 66,000 people responded, 20.3% considered green to be the most attractive eye color. Have you ever heard jealousy referred to as the green-eyed monster? Well, if the results of this survey are anything to go by, the jealous probably have eyes any color but green. Considered quite rare, sources put the worldwide occurrence of green eyes at just 2% on average, an average that is boosted depending on your geographical region and country. The greatest number of people with green eyes live in Northern and Central Europe, with people in Edinburgh, Scotland boasting an estimated 29% of residents with green eyes. Surprisingly, although there are many different eye colors, there are very few types of eye pigments. In fact, nearly all possibilities are determined by how much brown pigment or melanin is apparent in the iris cells. The amount of melanin is genetically determined in early childhood and remains fairly constant right throughout life. Those with less melanin will likely have a lighter eye color, whereas those with a greater concentration will have dark eyes. But the question on everyone's lips is, which celebrities owe their fame, at least in some way, to the appeal of their green eyes? You'll be pleased to know the list is pretty lengthy and includes the likes of Adele, Kate Hudson, Smokey Robinson, Rihanna, and none other than Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge. So if you're one of the lucky few, you're in good company. Number 10. Silver eyes. A pair of striking silver eyes that held a dark secret are what drew Erin Austin of Braselton, Georgia to adopt a new baby sister for her son and daughter. Born in China, Primrose Austin was left at the local orphanage, abandoned by parents who couldn't care for her properly. Noticing her plight on Facebook, Erin instantly fell in love with the helpless little girl, and with her husband Chris, traveled to China to begin the adoption process. The pair soon discovered that the piercing silver eyes that had helped Primrose to find her new forever family were also the source of a lot of pain. She was born both blind and hearing impaired. Primrose was suffering from a severe and untreated case of congenital glaucoma, which resulted in her eyes clouding over and appearing silver and translucent. Erin and Chris brought their precious new bundle back home to Georgia, where doctors quickly discovered glaucoma was not her only issue. With skeletal abnormalities, hearing loss, lack of muscle tone, and other issues, little Primrose was in a bad way. The little eyes that had sealed the deal with her new mom were soon removed in a heartbreaking decision made by Erin and Chris to relieve her extreme discomfort. Although the decision was difficult, Primrose continues to show the fighting spirit she has now become known for. Number 9. Violet eyes. Debate has raged for years whether natural purple eyes exist, with several scientists saying they don't. However, research shows that there are at least 600 people on the planet that would disagree. Purple eyes are also known as Alexandria's Genesis, a myth that evolved in 1015 in ancient Egypt. Said to have links to the supernatural, it's easy to see why people are skeptical. Legend has it that a light appeared in the night sky, leaving those who looked at it with both purple eyes and pale skin. Medically, however, the first recorded confirmation of purple eyes wasn't until 1329 in England, when Alexandria Augustine was born with violet eyes. Her mother, suspicious her child was under a spell, brought her to a priest, and from there the condition was known as Alexandria's Genesis. Alexandria's two daughters mothers also held the gene, and whilst it was considered a disorder, the symptoms appeared to be anything but. In fact, Alexandria lived to be over 100 years old and barely aged once she turned 50. Usually associated with women, the disorder causes no menstruation but normal fertility, no body hair growth, high immunity, ideal body shape, above average fitness levels, and an extended life expectancy. I don't know about you, but that sounds like the ideal disorder to suffer from to me. With no confirmation that a human has lived up to 150 years and scientists proving that fertility without menstruation is impossible, it's safe to say that this disorder is a myth. Purple eyes are simply a beautiful accident. Number 8. Black eyes. These eyes are not the result of a drunken bar fight, but they are almost as difficult to explain. Unsurprisingly, true black-colored eyes are very rare. Often associated with the dead of night, people with them are assumed to be dark and mysterious, untrustworthy, perhaps even dangerous. The truth is, they are anything but. People with black eyes can be trusted with your deepest, darkest secrets. Due to their loyalty, they make excellent employees and confidants and are said to be highly responsible. What they do possess, however, is an eye disorder known as aniridia. This disorder gives the appearance of the sufferer having no iris. On closer inspection, there is a small ring of iris tissue, however, it's so small it's unrecognizable, giving the impression the eye is completely black. This is due to a chromosome mutation and can be congenital or caused by injury, such as those that result in a black eye of the accidental or purposeful kind. People with aniridia may have compromised sight and other serious visual complications, including cataracts. Affected individuals may also suffer from kidney and cerebral abnormalities and intellectual disabilities. Number 7. The iris. The colored part of your eye is the iris, given its color through melanin, a brown pigment, the same as the one that's responsible for your skin color. No matter what color your eyes are, they are completely different to anyone else. They are unique to you, just like your fingerprints can be individually matched to you and you alone. Research has shown that the amount of pigment in your eye is what decides its color. However, some scientists offer a slightly more interesting theory. They believe that years ago, those that lived in hot climates where it was sunny all year long were prone to have brown eyes because their dark irises likely protected them. In colder climates where sun damage was less of a problem, people were more likely to have lighter eyes. This theory has an element of truth to it, with Europeans having the widest variety of eye colors, but with most generally lighter. In Central and South America and some parts of the Middle East, hazel, green, and blue eyes are more common. Worldwide, however, up to 79% of people have brown eyes, with a high percentage in Africa, East Asia, and Southeast Asia. Clearly the most common color. If earlier scientists' theories are to be believed, there are more countries where the weather is tropical all year round than those that are not. So that theory is also likely more of a myth than a reality. Number 6. Heterochromia eyes. Apart from cats and dogs, the occasional horse, cattle, and water buffalo, complete heterochromia is very rare, particularly in humans. Heterochromia is a condition where a person's eyes are two completely different colors. An intriguing phenomenon, there are 3 forms of the condition: complete, sectorial, and central. Sectorial and central have a higher frequency than complete. However, if you're a fan of X-Men, you may have noted in the movie First Class that actor James McAvoy is shown in a bar alongside a pretty blonde lady with one green eye and the other blue. A real conversation starter, this condition can be as obvious as the blonde actress in X-Men or barely noticeable, depending on the color extremes. As we've discovered, the color of the iris is determined by the pigment melanin. In cases where heterochromia occurs, the melanin has been unevenly distributed in the eye. Usually a congenital feature, heterochromia can also occur due to certain diseases, eye injuries, or infections. Although very uncommon, there are several people that save us the burden of having to imagine what the condition looks like. And it's really a strikingly beautiful occurrence. Number 5. Central heterochromia. Just 1% of people throughout the world have any of the 3 types of heterochromia: complete, sectoral or partial, and central. Central heterochromia is a condition where you have 2 different colors in the same iris. A form of partial heterochromia, the colors surround the pupil like a ring. The outer ring is usually the person's actual eye color, while the inner ring radiates out from the pupil. In the US, there are less than 200,000 people with the condition. In fact, it's more common in cats, horses, and dogs, particularly particularly huskies. If you have this eye condition, you are an extremely unique individual, but you're probably aware of that by now, given most discuss it with an eye specialist. Ophthalmologists can diagnose heterochromia and investigate the reasons behind its occurrence. Although there is no cure for the condition, specialists can provide treatment by managing the underlying causes. The good news for those with the condition, however, is that unlike complete heterochromia, central heterochromia isn't nearly as obvious. In fact, someone would have to be looking deep into your eyes to notice it. And not just any old random's gonna do that now, are they? You'd certainly hope not anyway. Number 4. Gray eyes. For some, they're the latest fashion accessory, but for others, they are a necessity. Sunglasses are worn to protect the eye from the sun's harmful rays, and for some, these rays are more dangerous. People with gray eyes are at a greater risk for melanoma of the uvea, or the middle layer of the eye. This is because their eyes lack the necessary amount of pigment required to protect them from the sun. Although scary, this type of cancer is also very rare, with just 6 in every million adults in the US diagnosed with it each year. With less than 1% of the global population having gray eyes, mystery surrounds their occurrence, leaving scientists baffled. Most are mistaken for blue, as gray eyes often change depending on what a person is wearing or what color light they're in. Like the red eyes of the devil when he's enraged, or the green eyes of the Incredible Hulk, gray eyes also appear to change with the person's mood. It might not be a real superpower, but it's certainly fairly close. Not many people could say they have chameleon eyes now, can they? Number 3. Aniridia eyes. If your last visit to the optometrist included having a solution put into your eyes to dilute them, then you will have some idea of what it feels like for sufferers of aniridia. Symptoms include blurred vision and increased sensitivity to light. Some sufferers, however, are fortunate to not have any symptoms at all, other than the obvious one: their irises are completely black. The disorder is rare, occurring in just 1 in 50,000 to 100,000 newborns worldwide, which is fortunate given the serious side effects associated with it. Those with aniridia can suffer from glaucoma and cataracts, and there is also an increased possibility that they may become blind. A very rare genetic vision disorder, aniridia is the result of an abnormal development of the eye's iris, where it is either completely missing or only partially visible. There are at least 4 types of aniridia known to exist, some more serious than others. For example, there are people that are completely unaware of the eye problem because their pupils appear normal, with just one eye affected by the thinning of the iris. On the other hand, there are those who suffer from the disorder that are severely affected, with debilitating eye pain, tumors, and other abnormalities throughout their bodies. A serious eye condition, it may follow a dominant genetic pattern inherited from either parent or appear spontaneously. Therefore, it's difficult to gauge the likelihood of it occurring. Number 2. Bright eyes. Eyes are what is often the first thing you capture when you meet someone, particularly if they're amazing. In fact, people can have the most ordinary features, but their gorgeous eyes really attract attention. They stand out in a crowd, captivate the masses, with some more dramatic than others. If you're a fan of Grey's Anatomy, you'll know what I'm talking about, with actor Jesse Williams, who plays Dr. Jackson Avery, one famous example. His dark skin, good looks, and piercing blue eyes are a real head-turner. Eyes that draw attention are often light, bright colored eyes, with turquoise classified as the most beautiful. A mix of blue and green, these colored eyes are rare. A few of the most common eye colors, however, also attract attention, particularly if there's a dark outline around them, making them appear more dramatic. The way a person's eyes contrast with the color of their skin also has a huge effect on how beautiful their eyes are. So too does the shape of the eye. Apricot-shaped eyes, for example, are unique and beautiful, particularly if combined with a piercing blue color. Walnut-shaped eyes or round eyes are also amazing. If you have eyes that you feel are ordinary, all is not lost. You can experiment with any color of the rainbow with a set of contact lenses. Now isn't that a relief? Number 1. Mirrored eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul, so they say, and people could be forgiven for getting lost in the eyes of some. But mirrored eyes? Who would have thought? If you've ever looked into someone's eyes and thought you could see your reflection, you may not have been hallucinating. It is actually possible. Some people have eyes that are so dark brown, they resemble a mirror. When you're standing in front of them, you can actually see your reflection in their eyes. These eyes are not only breathtaking, they are also very rare and very beautiful. Adding a mysterious quality to the individual that has them, mirrored eyes are both unique and intriguing. Whatever color your eyes are, they are truly unique and can never be replicated. Like snowflakes, the features of each are completely different and therefore magnificent, no matter what their color. And at the worst, if you don't like them, change them. Non-prescription lenses are all the rage and the color choices are endless. Simply pick one. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.